Yes, Trump won fair and square. I mean, people are going to move either way because of which candidate, so.
I swear. I'm moving to Australia.
I'm moving to Canada. No, that's the thing. Me and my parents want to go to Canada now. I'm not kidding.
I'm saying.
And plus, I'm
If Trump,
Asian.
Dude, if Trump starts a war, I'm moving out of this country.
Starts a war with who?
With Russia.
Yeah.
I'm saying
I'm
if we
glad
do,
I'm here.
we lost. Like, fair and square.
Yeah,
Might as
but
well start raising the white flag.
we may have the best military, but they outnumber us.
They have nukes.
They have nukes and we don't.
He's
So
supposed to
why? I'm saying first thing, I bet first thing,
Yep.
when Trump's president, he's gonna start making nukes. Just saying.
This way she'll get the nuclear code.
Oh gosh.
I mean,
He's not gonna nuke anyone. I feel confident that he's not gonna start nuking everything.
see, in my opinion, I feel like Trump would get stuff done instead of
Because
Hillary.
Bye-bye North Korea.
Bye-bye,
Donald
North
Trump
Korea.
is apparently good friend with Putin, so he might be like, I
Yeah.
with him.
Maybe.
But I rather, well, in my opinion, I would rather have Trump.
So what are you happy that Trump won?
It is what it is.
Yeah,
Doesn't really affect me.
I was kind of happy.
I was kind of sitting there like,
I was surprised.
he was surprised at that.
Yeah, he was.
I think it was because the states that he won were typically Democratic states. That's what I think surprised everyone.
And yeah, Hillary had more votes, but yet he still won.
Electoral college balances the field so that way states like Iowa actually have a say in it. Because otherwise, just like if you went by just popular vote, the electoral vote were out of Texas, Florida, New York, and California. It's been over because Iowa has like 1% population.
Like, did Trump win Texas?
Yeah, he did.
And then
He
he's
won,
supposed to,
he won all the states except for New York and California, but he won Nevada. There was only a few smaller states that he lost in, but the East Coast was the smaller state. They didn't have enough for a college vote. He won Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, which was unheard of.
yeah, the two
So,
big ones that he had to win was Texas, Iowa, and I'm pretty sure California.
yeah.
He won
It was
Iowa.
those two.
He won Iowa. Iowa's always traditionally a Republican state. Only the last election Obama has won, just because Obama did so much campaigning here. And that's what actually hurt Hillary. She forgot to campaign those last few states. She didn't go back to Michigan or Wisconsin for like 8 months or something. So, no wonder they haven't seen her forever. All right. So what we're talking about today, we're talking about section 3.5. And we're going to go to 3.7 today. Now remember, I'm not here tomorrow. You'll have a stub. The stub will basically give you some homework where you can work on it in class. It's pretty basic. We're going to talk about the 2 types of problems today. Okay, that's what we're going to be discussing. Okay, so the first types of problems we're going to look at. Okay, we're going to look at how to simplify fractions. Okay, and more importantly, what we're going to look at simplifying today is mixed numbers. Mixed numbers and improper fractions. That's what we're going to look at. Okay, once we're done simplifying those, we're going to look at some of the new stuff today which we have not talked about. We're going to look at how to multiply fractions today. So we're actually going to start the basic operations. So we're going to look at multiplying fractions, very basic fractions. You know, just regular fractions, not mixed numbers, not improper. Just multiplying fractions. We'll look at the mixed numbers later, and impropers later. And then we're also going to look at division today. And the reason why I like to always do these back to back is because they're basically the same operation. So we're going to divide. I shouldn't say division, but divide fractions. Okay. So does everyone understand what we're going to talk about today? Okay, not bad. It's a pretty easy concept. Before lunch here, we'll talk about simplifying. We'll do kind of a few examples of that. That will probably be the hard part, right there, the simplifying stuff. Just because there's so many different combinations I can throw at you. I just want to make sure that you know how to do it. Now, a reminder that page 64, 66, the stuff I gave you on Monday, that is due today. So make sure you're getting that done. That's the one where you were writing mixed numbers to improper to mixed numbers. That was due today. So make sure at some point you did turn that in. I think almost everybody got that turned in. There's only one or two that didn't. So make sure you're getting that page 64 and 66. All right, but let's start first. Start how to simplify a mixed number. So we'll start with the easy ones. I'll start with the mixed numbers here. There's two types of mixed numbers that I want to talk about. This is going to be the first type. Let's go with 17 and 4/12. So, do you agree that this is a mixed number?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big one, too.
It's big, right? It's got 17, it's got a number in the back, and we're not changing this to improper. Now, what we're doing, we're going to simplify this. The reason why I want you to simplify is this fraction in the back can be simplified. They have numbers in common. So, what we're going to do, the process I want you to work on, is breaking these numbers up into things that multiply to give you like 4s and 12s. That's what we're going to look at. That's our strategy. So, okay, so I actually had your hand up. What are numbers that multiply to give me the number 4?
Oh. Can it be
Numbers that multiply to give me 4.
2, 6?
2 and 2. And now the bottom, what were you saying for the bottom? For 12? 2 and 6. Alright. Does that make sense? Right now, we can break up 6 even further. 6 actually has numbers that multiply to give us 6. What can 6 break up into? 3 and 2? Okay, so does everyone understand that? Now what we're going to do is we're going to start canceling out numbers that they have in common. They have 2's in commons here, they have 2's in commons here, and what I'm left with is, since I know it looks like I don't have any numbers left on the top, there's always a 1 there, just so you know. So it's 17, the number on the top is a 1, and what number is left on the bottom? 3. Now the reason why I know there's a 1 left on the top is because it's 4 times 1, technically. There's always 1 up there. So. Okay, questions, comments on that? Okay, so that's changing a mixed number down to its simplest form. This is what I was going for. That is simplest form. Now, some people are very good at knowing, okay, they have 4's in common, dividing both numbers by 4, that type of thing. But I think by doing this idea of like writing out those numbers are and then crossing them out, it makes it a lot easier to understand how to simplify fractions. It's way, way simpler. Okay, let's try one by yourself. I want to see if you guys can do one here. So same exact idea. Let's have you guys try one. Let's go with 3 and 16 over 24. So I'd like you to try to see if you can simplify this out.
Got it.
And look at my example on the board. Hopefully that makes sense. Try to break up the 16 and the 24 into as many numbers as you can, and then we're going to talk about it here in about 1 minute.
Do we have to do that specific way? Do we have to do that specific way, like break up the
Yes, I'd like to try that out. So let's talk about this. How do we break up 16? Four numbers that multiply give me 16.
2 times 2 times 2 times 2.
Okay, so you did like
Well, first I did 4 times 4, and then
okay,
I did 4 times.
yeah, 4 times 4. That was the first one that you thought of for 16. If you're that 2 and 8 person, that's fine. It's just you break it up and then you break these numbers up even further. So you're actually right. This is 2 times 2. Then the other 4 can be broken up to be 2 times 2 as well. Okay, so that's the idea. On the bottom, what about 24? So somebody else now.
4 times 6.
Okay, 4 times 6, right? That's 24. Now, if you were that person that was 3 and 8, you're fine. Okay, we'll eventually get your answer. How do I break up 4 even further? 2 times 2, and break 6 even further. 3 times 2. All right, so we're breaking these down into as fast as we can. These are the prime factors, and now we start canceling. So what can cancel out here?
Wait, I actually have a question. For to get 24, can you do 12 times 2?
12 times 2, yeah, and then you can break up to 12 even further, yeah.
Oh,
All right, so now at this point, what cancels?
2, 2.
2s, 2, 2, and that would be about it. That's all the pairs that cancel out. Remember, you don't circle them all out. 1 for 1, top bottom. That's a good thing. And now that we have every number kind of cancel out that we need, my final answer here is 3, and what's the fraction behind it? 2/3. And that's the simplified version of it. Okay, questions with what you're going to be asked tomorrow. You're going to have a few of those. They're pretty straightforward. There's a rare case. We haven't seen the rare case yet. I'll put that up on the board later. All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about how to do improper fractions now. Let me simplify improper. All right, so improper here will be, let's go with 12 over 8. So this is my idea of an improper fraction. Okay, so on improper fractions, first step, we need to make this a mixed number. That's what we need to do first. Make it a mixed number. So I don't care how you do it. If you want to do like the long division, if you want to do that subtraction rule that we talked about the other day. I think most of you like the long division way, correct? You said long division, so the 12 goes in the house, 8 goes on the outside. How many times can 8 go into 12 without going out? 1, so that's an 8. When you subtract, you get 4, and so your mixed number is a big 1, right? There's a big 1 there, and then the fraction behind it is the 4 remaining over 8, right? So that is the same thing as 12 over 8. The problem is, what I said we're going to simplify, is that this fraction can keep going, as you realize. So the 4 over 8 can actually be simplified further. So if we break up the 4 and the 8, let's break up the 4 first. 4 is what, 2 times 2? And then the 8 on the bottom is 4 times 2, but that can also be broken up even further. It needs 2 times 2. 2. And so yeah, so then the idea is that I can start canceling out numbers, and what I'm left with is 1. There's a 1 on the top of the fraction since there's no number, so there's always a 1. And then on the bottom we have the 2 left, so it's 1 1/2. That's how you simplify. Remember, there's always a 1 there if you need it. Okay, questions, comments on how we do this? Okay, not bad. All right. So, let's try one out here. Let's go with. So here's my example. We're going to go 32 over 26. Okay, so that's your problem. I'm going to give you a couple minutes here. See if we have time. This will be our one time we're going to do before lunch. number, then hopefully you can simplify it from there. You can start canceling stuff out. Okay, so here's my question to you. How many times did 26 go into 32? One time, and what was left as your remainder? 6? 6 over 26?
Yep.
Okay, that should be your first start. Again, how we did that, 32 goes in the house, 26 is on the outside. 26 times 1 is 26. When you subtract, that's where you get 6. That's where the 6 comes from. That's why 26 is on the bottom. Okay, that's what you should be doing first. Now, here comes the goofy part. We have to break these numbers up, right? So you have to break up the 6 on the top. How do you break up 6?
3 and 2.
3 and 2, or 2 and 3, however you want to say it. 26 is 2 and 13, which is goofy. I know that's not on your property sheet, but it kind of thought about it. 2 and 13 is 26. And now we can start canceling stuff out. Like, for instance, the 2's cancel, and what am I left with? 3 thirteenths. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, after lunch, we have to talk about a special case, right? Something that's a mixed number improper kind of a thing where they mix them together, because you will have 1 or 2 of them tomorrow. But this is the majority of your homework. Then after we're done with that one kind of weird example, and if you need another one, we'll do another one, but we're going to look at kind of multiply and divide fractions. So it's the start of like basic computation stuff. So that's kind of the idea. Okay. Tonight your grade will be updated, so if you are missing page 64, 66, and if you're missing the worksheet, the math test, the math question we did last week, that'll be in the grade book. So make sure you're getting that stuff turned in. So that's going to be in the grade book tonight. Questions, comments on anything so far? Okay. We have a couple minutes before lunch, so you can kind of relax. But the grades will be updated tonight.
Coca-Cola, sit down. Enjoy Coca-Cola. I ask you to enjoy that, Pop. Thank you very much.
I'm sponsored by Coca-Cola, Beats, Curry's, whatever these are.
If I have to choose between Coke and Pepsi, I don't know, that's a hard decision.
Coke. If you said Pepsi, I'm going to kick you with Curry's. I can't do nothing to you because you're going to run me over.
Even though I do enjoy
No,
Coke,
most people like Pepsi.
even though I do enjoy Coke.
Yeah, cherry Pepsi, it's the best.
Yeah.
I think I got cherry cola, that's pretty good.
Cherry Coke, I can barely taste the cherry. Cherry Dr. Pepper, though. Oh, that's good.
That's not right.
Dr. Pepper's plain old Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper 10. What the heck, Cole? This is a school. Nice voice crack, by the way.
Now I practice making.
Ah.
Actually, I know fall. I know something.
By the way, Alex, if I'm on tonight, I have an idea for you. Tonight is really not cold.
it's so fun. I'm like, yeah, what it is. What it is.
Okay, hopefully one of you is taking detailed notes. I'm going to give those to Hannah tomorrow on the stuff we've kind of talked about today, so hopefully you have something that's at least legible for, otherwise you can watch the video, but it's not the same as getting some emails and notes. Okay. So we talked about simplifying, we talked about mixed numbers, improper. Today, we need to do one where we mix everything together. So, you want to take out the headphones?
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right. So let's work through a problem where we're mixing kind of everything together into one problem. And that's the one example that I really want to cover today, because I know that tomorrow this could be the hiccup, because when I'm gone, I don't want this one to be the one problem that we have. So a mixed number, but I'm going to put I'm going to put it with an improper. So it's going to be with an improper fraction behind it. Okay, so for instance, let's go with 4 and 8/5. So this is my example, right? It's got a whole number. It's got a fraction behind it, and I want to make sure that we understand how that works.
Oh,
Okay, so did everyone have it written down? Let's do one together. We'll do this one together, and I'll have you try one. You can try one out by yourself. So the first step that I would do personally, I would be taking this fraction, the improper, and let's change this to a mixed number. I'm going to leave this 4 alone for right now. That's still going to be a part of the main answer in the end, but we need to kind of fix this 8/5. So when we fix that, I'm going to put 8 in the house, 5 on the outside, right? That's how we've been dealing with mixed numbers. How many times can 5 go to 8? 1. And 5 times 1 is 5. When you subtract, you get 3. So what this mixed number is for this, it's a big 1, right? Because they went in there once. So this thing is a big 1. And the remaining fraction that's after, because we do have a remainder, is 3/5. So it's 1 3/5. All right, so what I did here is I basically split this fraction up, and I left the 4 alone. So this is what we have. We have the 4 plus the other thing. And the other thing was the 8/5. Now all I need to do is add the actual whole numbers together. So what's 4 plus 1?
5.
So it's 5 3/5. That's the final answer. Like that's what I want. That's the idea. So if you were to actually draw a picture of this, you have 4 full pizzas, and this one says that you have a full pizza plus a little bit extra. So it was a full pizza plus just a few more. Okay, does that make sense? Like how we're doing that? Okay, let's try one out by ourselves. So I'm going to give you a problem on the board here. I'd like you to try it, and then once we're through this one, we're going to move on to the next one. I don't think we'll need to go into these. It's the one problem I was kind of worried about. All right, so somebody give me a random number, please.
89.
89? Okay, 89. And let's give me a fraction behind. Let's go with 9 over, let's go 9 over 2. Kind of a
Oh.
So 9 over 2. So we have, this is definitely a mixed number. Okay? Big number, fraction behind, but we have the improper. So we have to fix this.
Oh, this is.
Okay, we have to simplify this one. So I'll give you a couple minutes here. Try this out. See what you get. All right, everyone kind of have an answer for this? Okay. All right, so now the 89 will be a part of kind of the final answer. We'll eventually have to add the 89 to the big number eventually. But we need to figure out what is this as a mixed number. Yeah, so like we're changing the 9 halves into a mixed number.
Noticed that.
So
It's 4.5.
4 and a half, right? Because 2 goes into 9 4 times. So if we're setting it up like this, right? 9 goes in the house, 2 goes in the outside. 2 goes in that 4 times, that's an 8. And what was left over? 1. So we have a big number 4, right? And then we have the remainder is 1 out of 2. 1 is the remainder, the 2 goes in the bottom of it. So now we have to add these together. You have to add the big numbers together, which is
93 and a half.
93 and 1/2. Yeah. So 4 plus 89 is 93, and we have a half after it. That's the final answer. Okay, make sense? What we're doing? Okay, so this is kind of mixing improper with mixed numbers. Tomorrow you're going to have a few problems in the beginning. They'll give you kind of a couple mixed numbers, a couple improper, and then they'll have this like a couple rare cases. I think there's like 1 or 2 of these where they kind of mix them together and they want you to simplify them as far as you can. So hopefully you've got notes on what we did today, so it makes sense. The sub won't have to do too many things with you. Hopefully they can just train you to kind of work.
What's up?
No idea yet. That's what I always worry about, whether they know math or not. No idea who it is. So. All right. So. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to multiplying and dividing fractions. All right. So we're just going to do a few examples of these because this is pretty easy stuff actually. Multiplying fractions. All right, now here's the good news. We're going to kind of talk about the process for how you multiply. When you multiply fractions, you do not, and I'm going to put this in big capital letters, do not find common denominators. That's the big deal, right? You do not need to find the bottom numbers to be the same. That's a big deal. All you have to do is multiply across. Straight across. That's what we're doing. We're multiplying straight across on your fractions to actually simplify. The big deal with what I want to make sure of is do you know how to simplify fractions before you start? That's why we've been talking about simplifying. That's a big deal to me. We know how to simplify, and I want us to use those rules where we break things and cross things out. We're going to talk about this idea of how to simplify today. So this is our goal. We're going to multiply straight across in fractions. So let me give you 2 examples here. Kind of easy numbers here. So let's go 3 over 4 times 1 over 5. We're going to start with some easy ones. Okay, do you agree that these are 2 fractions?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to multiply them together. So the rule is you don't find common denominators. All you do is you multiply straight across. So multiply the top, multiply the bottom straight across, and that would be your final answer. That's how easy it is. So what's 3 times 1?
3.
3. And 4 times 5?
20.
20. You're done. That's it. The easiest thing in the world. Multiplying fractions is like mind-numbingly easy. You just have to know how to multiply top numbers and bottom numbers. Now you're probably thinking, that can't be it. I mean, that's a little too simple. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's how easy it is to multiply. Adding and subtracting is actually harder to add fractions and multiply, and to subtract fractions. It's actually more difficult. Now here's the thing. On this problem, we did not have to simplify at all. That problem was easy. And I want to explain why, once we do this next problem, why would we be required to simplify. So let's do one more example here. And this one, I'm going to show the same style of math, but this problem, I'll have to simplify. So let me give you an example here. Let's do something like, let's go, 8 over 9 times, go 2 over 12. And we're going to multiply these together. Now I use the little times symbol, it's the same thing. instead of the dot. Okay, so before you start going across and you start writing 16 over whatever the bottom number is, there's a way to do this problem so you get easier numbers to work with. So you don't have such big numbers, right? So, first step. This is the first thing what I would do. If you know you're going to get big numbers, I would attempt this. You don't have to do this every time because you could technically go straight across and get your answer, but it won't be simplified. It'll be harder if you keep going. What I would do first, so I'm going to leave these fractions alone. I want you to break these numbers up like we did earlier. So break up like the 8 into numbers that multiply to give us 8. Break up numbers that multiply to give me 9. Break up numbers that multiply to give me 2. Break up numbers that multiply to give me 12. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the process for how we simplify fractions. Okay? Before you attempt to multiply. Does that make sense? Okay. So what are numbers that multiply to give me 8?
4 and 2.
4 and 2. Okay. Does that make sense? That's 4 and 2. We can break up 4 even further. 2 and 2. Okay. So 2 times 2. All right. So that is the 8 on that top left corner. Bottom, how do you break up 9?
3.
3. Okay. Or 3, 3, and 1, whatever you want to call it. What about 2? 2
2 and 1.
and 1. Can't really do anything with that. 12?
3, 3, 3, 3.
3, 3, 3, 3.
2 and 6.
2 and 6, or 4 and 3. And then you break up 6 even further, which is 3 and 2, or 2 and 3, however you want to say it. All right, that is 12. Remember, numbers that multiply to give you 12, not half. Okay. All right, so we're at the same moment, right? Okay, here's how we simplify fractions before I start multiplying everything together. Top, bottom on both fractions. So when we start to simplify, the first check you need to do, the first check, you need to simplify top and bottom first. So what I mean by that, you check each fraction. Is there anything that this fraction has in common? 2. Cross them out. They're gone. They're no longer in that fraction. Okay? On the other side, is there anything that this fraction has top and bottom? No. Okay, good. So that fraction's fine. So that's the first check. Second check you should do. Okay, so now we're on the second check. Now I want you to go diagonally. So diagonals. You're going to check those. So the diagonals, if you don't know, those are the ones that are kitty corner from each other, right? So slanted. So on this particular problem, going kitty corner, is there anything that these have in common? No. No worries, that's kitty corner, right? Let's go the other direction. 2. So I have a 2 here and a 2 there. Make sense? Now that we've done that, now you're done simplifying. You always check top, bottom first. You check diagonally. And if there's nothing else that crosses out, you're done, and now we can finish the problem. So we're done simplifying. So now we're at this moment. So I'm going to write down what we have left. We have the 2 and a 2 on the top left corner. We have the 1 over here. The bottom corner, we have a 3 and a 3. In the other corner, we have a 3 down there. Does that make sense? Like what's left after it crossed out everything? It had the crosses through them. And now all you do is go straight across. Because now it's a normal problem. We simplify it. So now you just follow the rule like we did over there, where you go straight across. So going straight across, 2 times 2?
4.
Times 1?
4.
Okay. That's good. 3 times 3?
6.
9.
No, 9.
9 times 3?
27.
27. Done. That's your answer. That is your simplest answer for that problem. Now, don't get me wrong. I know, like, when we first started this problem, I think I even heard Cole, you were saying, like, you're immediately trying to multiply. Like, you were like, oh, that's 16, and I multiply the bottom, and I get some number like 108, something like that. Right? The 16 over 108 is this. It's the same fraction. This is the simplified version of what I want. So the trick is, you break up the numbers first, cross things out, because now the numbers are way easier to multiply. Agreed? Like I can do those numbers in my head, or at least the majority of them I can do in my head. As opposed to doing like the 108, you need a calculator or you need to check the multiplication chart. So that's just something that's why I always try. I always attempt to simplify diagonally and up and down first. Okay, let's do one more so you get some practice with this, because I do want to have you try one by yourself. you can get some practice with this. All right. So let's see. Let's go with 15 over 16 times. Let's go with 6 and 20. 6 and 20. Okay, same thing. I'd like you to simplify this problem down before you attempt to multiply. Because if you multiply, your numbers will be huge, and I don't want that. Simple numbers.
So, if I have a 5, or a 5 like all the way over here, can I still cross it out?
Yeah. As long as they're diagonal from each other, yes. Give you about another minute here to try this out. So let's go through this real quick. What about 15? What do we got?
3 by 5.
3 and 5. All right. So that's 3 and 5. 16.
4 and
4 and 4. All right. So 4 and 4. I was expecting 2 and 8. So 4 and 4. We break up 4s even further, and that is 2 and 2. 2 and 2. And then 6 is 2 and 3. And 20 is 2, 2 and a 5. And now we can start crossing out things. Top, down, nothing. That's it. And then you go straight across. We should have 9 on the top. You should have a number like 32 on the bottom. Okay, tomorrow you will have a couple notes just on this stuff, and then you'll have some homework tomorrow. So make sure you're ready to go. Wait. Thought I had it now.
It was close.
It was close.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna freak out. I'm in a bad mood. You're making it worse.
Alright.
I'm not saying it's not great. People just don't care about it.
I care about it. Geology's care. Geology. I'm science.
Whoa, I don't know what I remember.
I will prove.
Brian.